there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
I love my family. One of my favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook. I have incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still my best friend.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Clevy and it is so nice to meet you. You guys, let us quickly dive into this video. This is titled Kamala Harris Bumps into Nervous Train Wreck During First Solo Softball ABC Interview. And I'm like, we've been waiting for a solo interview. You know, when the whole switch happened with Biden, first interview that she granted was, of course, with our running mate, right? And then the debate happened, and then they were like, they wanted another debate. But then again, of course, Trump already said no. That came as no surprise because I already said it in one of the videos that if he doesn't want to go on a second debate with her, it is actually okay. And I mean, I saw that and I was like, good. All right, so you guys, let's quickly check this out. This is, of course, from Black Conservative channel. So let's dive right into it.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I bet you guys have not heard about Kamala Harris doing her first solo interview over a month into her campaign for president, okay? Because she's been hiding.
Of course she has.
She's only been out a couple times, okay, to do an interview with Dana Bash on CNN with her emotional support buddy, Tim Walsh there, okay? Complete and total softball, okay? The debate was a complete and total softball for Kamala Harris because she had the moderators debating Trump on her behalf, okay? She didn't really debate Trump very well, but the moderators sure did, okay? She didn't really have to do much except lie on stage and never be challenged or fact-checked, okay?
Sure.
So now she's doing a solo interview that you guys noticed wasn't really advertised like that by the Kamala campaign. She's doing a solo interview with ABC6 Philadelphia. I'm not sure what's up with Kamala Harris and ABC, right? Maybe she has some exclusive deal with ABC.
That was why I said ABC again.
Interview because this is the first time we've seen Kamala Harris in the big boy seat, right? Where she is taking interviews all by herself. She doesn't have somebody in that she can buzz in to give her the answers. Okay,
complete the sentences for her.
She has to stand on her own 2 feet. Okay,
yes.
And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of the comments here.
She's
getting absolutely roasted. Okay, this guy says this is why she doesn't do any interviews. The robot is stuck in a loop. We already know your middle class story. You told it twice during the debate.
Yep, we do.
Doesn't actually answer what she'll specifically do to help the middle class. Doesn't actually explain her policy views are different than Joe Biden. Doesn't explain how she will appeal to Trump voters. What the F is she talking about? Yeah, so you guys can already see she's getting toasted. Getting absolutely toasted for this 11-minute interview. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Of course.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election. Yeah. You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people,
okay,
what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
Okay.
My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn. You know, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
Wow. So you can see what she's doing here. She's filibustering, right? She's basically trying not to answer the question. And this woman is so fake. She's so mindless, right? There's nothing authentic about this person. And the reason why you know is because She literally used these exact same talking points, this exact same story during the debate in order to dodge that question about the economy. The first question of the debate. So clearly, she wants you to know that she grew up as a middle class kid. Okay, this is what she says quite a bit, okay, when asked questions in order to dodge. But she's very nervous, right? She really is lacking self-confidence. And you can see that throughout this interview. It's very obvious.
And that we as Americans have a beautiful character.
Okay.
You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored.
Okay, well, this type of filibustering, I understand this ABC News guy. He's a local guy, right? And he really probably doesn't want to lose his job, right? This is a big opportunity. He's interviewing the vice president of the United States. She's running for president. But you have to cut her off and say, okay, you're giving us the why, right? I understand the why.
What
but
would
give us
you
the
do?
what, okay? And Kamala, importantly, the how. Okay, we all
Exactly.
understand the why.
What
That's
would
what Kamala
you
is
do?
saying. Is she's giving the why. She's filibustering the answer with the why. But what we're actually looking for is the what. Okay, what are you going to do? And probably most importantly, how are you going to do it? He definitely should interrupt her here and say, "You're not answering the question, okay? Because this is not what I asked you at all."
Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention, really, I think, the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is to work with the private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government, to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. In addition, to help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally. And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able to just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do to save and to pay that mortgage and to build wealth for themselves and their family. These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired, who work hard, and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
Yeah, so basically what she's saying is that I'm just going to hand out a bunch of money, right? Here's the thing, right? Here's the difference between what Kamala Harris and Trump are proposing, right? First and foremost, we have a proven track record that under Trump's economic policies, this country will do well, right? Kamala Harris is promising a bunch of things that sound nice, but are probably not good, okay? Like, for example, giving people money to buy homes, which will likely make the problem worse, okay? But the major difference really is that Kamala is promising more handouts, right? Trump is saying, listen, if you work, you get paid more. Like, for example, when it comes to no tax on tips, which Kamala stole. I have no problem with no tax on tips because basically I like to incentivize work. If people do a good job, okay, if you're a good waitress, waiter, bartender, whatever, and somebody wants to give you a nice tip, hey, I think you earned it. I think you should keep your money. I would never advocate for regular middle-class people to have to pay more in taxes, especially when you're talking about
tips.
taxing hard work. Okay. Trump also came out and proposed getting rid of the tax on overtime as well, too, which is also something I support, right? Because I support incentivizing work. Okay. And one of the ways you can increase wages without more government spending, and don't let the leftists fool you. Tax cuts are not government spending, right? Tax cuts are tax cut. Is the government stealing less of your hard-earned money? Yeah, that's one of the great ways you can increase real wages without government mandates or handouts, which is what Kamala Harris is incentivizing. Hey, if you work, you can keep more of your money. And if you want to take your money and go buy a house or start a business, you can do that, right? You have that freedom of choice. But basically, Kamala is saying that, well, these are the things we want you to do, right? This is what the government wants you to do. So we're going to incentivize you to do it by basically giving you money to do it. And Trump is saying, no. The people that work, right? If you want to work more, okay, if you want to give better quality service, you can keep more of your money and you can go spend your money on whatever you want, right? I think I agree with that approach a lot more. The only thing about Trump's approach that I wish that he would change is that I wish that we would cut some spending, right? If anything, people are talking about, oh, how much is going to cost for us not to take more people's money, right? This is what they say about eliminating the tax on overtime and the tax on tips. And it's like, well, if we stop sending money to Ukraine and all of these conflicts overseas, that's paid for. Okay, it's $250 billion over 10 years. I think the politicians plan to send a lot more than $250 billion in Ukraine over the next 10 years, right? I'm pretty sure they plan to spend a whole lot more than that, right? I think they're going to spend at least $1 trillion, okay? Don't be fooled, right? We're in Ukraine for over $1 trillion, okay? Don't let the politicians fool you. So if we stop sending money to Ukraine, yeah, we can pay for the tax cuts, which is the way that, the left likes to frame it, right? You got to pay for the tax cuts, okay? This is what they say. But the easy answer is, yeah, we won't be fighting a war in Ukraine anymore, right? So therefore, we can pay for all this, okay? We can pay for that.
Talked at the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward. Yeah. I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And
the same line with the exact same tone that she used with Trump, right, during the debate.
I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work, and maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to extend the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development.
That's a lot of promises, though.
And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
What?
What does that mean?
This guy's face says it all. What the hell? What did she just say? Basically what she said is that, well, I'm younger, right? I'm younger. She didn't really point out any real differences between her and Biden. She's just saying that, well, I want to focus more on an opportunity economy. Okay, so what was Build Back Better, right? What was that? Okay, that was not an opportunity economy. Like, what was that? Again, the problem here is that she's not saying anything, right? She's not really saying directly what separates you from Joe Biden. See, the easy thing that she could do, but they don't want to do this because they're trying to thread a needle here. They don't want to throw Joe Biden on the bus or everything that they did. But all she has to do is just admit that, hey, these are some of the things that we didn't do correctly, or we didn't do the way that we should have got it done, or this is what I've learned
as
vice president about the things that we've done and the direction that we need to go in, right? If she just admits that, hey, we made some mistakes, these answers would be more believable. These will be better answers for her, right? But again, she's not trying to give a direct answer. She's trying to dance around the question, okay, and give some concept of an answer, so to speak, right? But she's not trying to answer any question directly.
Crime and public safety are two major issues right at the forefront of voters' minds. In Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well.
Bro, who believes that? Come on. Does anybody believe that Kamala Harris is a gun owner? That's a line that was given to her by Tim Walz or somebody on her team to say that in order to try to be more relatable to some of the people out in the Midwest. That's all that was. I mean, does anybody really believe that? Seriously.
I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I support the Second Amendment, and I support reasonable gun safety laws. Part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body. And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war.
You just contradicted yourself right now.
Yo, this is wild. This is so wild. This is a woman that claims that she's a gun owner, which she's not. Okay, I mean, come on. First and foremost, it's not assault rifles. Second of all, it is definitely inconsistent to say we want to ban your ability to carry modern sporting rifles. This is what they really mean by assault rifles. But we want to ban your ability to have rifles. And, hey, we believe in your right to keep and bear arms, right? We believe in the Second Amendment. Those things are not consistent, right? They are definitely inconsistent, okay? You cannot finagle your way through this, okay? This is the same person that supported a mandatory gun buyback, right? Mandatory gun buybacks, which is straight up gun confiscation, right? This is what she has supported. But now she's trying to tell you, oh, I'm a gun owner, right? And I'm trying to tell you it's not inconsistent for us to ban your ability to carry and to have a hunting rifle or a sporting rifle, right? It's not inconsistent for us to ban that while at the same time saying that we believe in your Second Amendment rights when apparently you don't.
Exactly.
A great follow-up question would be, okay, well, what type of firearm do you own, Kamala? Do you own any so-called assault rifles? Any assault weapons, Kamala? Do you own any?
Oh my
Please
God.
elaborate.
They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that. Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You just might want to know.
Two final questions, if I might.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. He has an historic appeal in this country. And as you are someone running against him and trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be? And how do you speak to his voters? Or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
I, based on experience and a lived experience, no. In my heart, I know, in my soul, I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you. I think people want a leader who has common sense and tries to find common ground. I'm supported by over 200 Republicans who worked for both Presidents Bush, John McCain, and Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Congress member Liz Cheney.
Okay, this woman is clueless. Absolutely effing clueless. Okay, the question was about Trump supporters. How are you going to reach Trump supporters,
to them?
right? Or people that share his values.
Yeah.
Okay, now, again, she has no clue how to answer the question. Just look at her face. Her facial expressions tell you everything, man. Again, she's not acting right now, right? So when she's not acting, you can see she's frightened. So, of course, she's not really trying to answer the question. And then she starts to bring up Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, and all the Never Trumpers who are supporting her as some type of, I don't know, reason for why Trump supporters should support her. Which, again, is an extremely ignorant answer because she should know, she should be aware that Trump supporters don't like Never Trumpers, right? They don't like the Dick Cheneys, the Liz Cheneys, the Adam Kinzingers, all the people that are endorsing you, those Republicans, they're not Trump supporters, right? So they don't really share the same values. Why are you bringing them up as an example? This is actually the worst answer that you could give if you're trying to answer the question of how you're going to get Trump supporters to vote for you. But see, in her mind, she might not want Trump supporters to vote for her, right? She may just be trying to get the Never Trumpers or whatever, right? But again, you don't bring up Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney in response to a question about how are you going to win over Trump supporters.
And I think people are more willing now, in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first. And I think that just makes us stronger and more healthy as a country.
Okay.
To say, look, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
Yes, says the same person that did a campaign photo op in a spice shop that is an anti-Republican spice shop, right? But hey, let's stop the division, right? Let's just do away with all that, right? Again, notice how she didn't answer the question. But actions speak louder than words. Your actions do not show that you want any type of unity. You don't even know how to answer the question of how you're going to get Trump supporters to support you without basically saying that, well, people that disagree with me are hateful, right? They're bigots, okay? This is what she's saying.
Finally, as you introduce yourself to America in a new way, they've heard much of your story at the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week. If there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
I don't know. I mean, probably it's not very different from anybody watching right now. I love my family. One of my favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook.
Who doesn't love to cook?
I have incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still my best friend. I think that, I have a career that really, and I said it the other day, as a career prosecutor, I never asked a victim of crime, were they a Republican or a Democrat. The only thing I ever ask them is, are you okay? And I think that's the approach that most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election, in terms of turning the page and charting the way forward.
I imagine you're looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
I am looking forward. Yes, I am looking forward to cooking. With the whole family gets involved, the kids each have their role. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful family, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, so complete total softball. I mean,
Of course.
the local
If
news
it were
wasn't gonna
Trump
really
or
press her
Vance
like that,
on this seat.
right? Kamala seems to be more qualified for the kitchen, right, than for the White House, in my opinion, just based off this interview. But hey, I thought that this was not good, okay, and this is why she doesn't do interviews because it ends up like this. Even when it's a complete and total softball, she just can't knock it out of the park, which is also the reason why she really didn't do that well in the debate, right? I mean, considering how Trump didn't perform that well either. I'm not sure exactly why Kamala wants a second debate, because she doesn't seem to have the ability to get that home run that she's looking for. This interview was terrible. Softball. Basically, she still hasn't been challenged. Still hasn't been challenged yet. Over a month of being on the campaign trail.
So that is what I keep on saying. I'm like, 40 days or how many days after that switch happened, she never granted an interview. Then she did, and it wasn't a solo interview, right? It was with her running mate, and she had someone who was there finishing her sentences for her, and Dana Bash went soft. Uh, if you remember the interview that Abash had with Vance, yo, my guy was literally on the hot seat. See, this is one thing. I don't know why they go easy on her. That's why after that debate happened, she's like, she wanted a second, and I'm like, I said it there and there. I'm like, I don't know if Trump will actually grant it. Even if he doesn't, I can bring back that video. I said, even if he doesn't, it is fine. And so when I saw, that release on X, and I'm like, honestly, it's fine. Because at this, for her, it's a second debate. For him, it's the third one she's attempting. He has done first with Biden, now with her, and you want him to do a third one? No. It's just like a fight. When you, when you didn't fight well enough, you now want a rematch. This is exactly what is happening, because her team and her knows that they didn't do so well. Spare us the second debate. Go on solo interviews. Let's hear. Forget the second debate. Accept solo interviews, and not from ABC, right? Not from your I don't even know what to say now. Not from your favorite news network, right? Go to and accept the interview, because trust me, I know they've asked the team for an interview, and I'm sure they've not yet gotten back to them. So answer those ones, the unbiased ones. Go there, let them throw those hard questions. Let's see what you have, because honestly, it's still the same thing. So forget about the debate, because Trump now has said he doesn't even want debate no more. So go on solo interviews alone. Don't go with your moral support. Go alone for solo interviews, just like how Trump will sit alone for interviews, walking into the lion's den of Vance. Do that. And for everything she's promising now, and I'm like, let us not forget that this is still the present vice president. So why are you not doing them now? Why are you waiting till you have your own special term? I don't understand. Like, you're already there in power. Like, why are you not doing them down? Are you just realizing these things? But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna see you in the comment section. Be respectful of one another, and I will catch you another time. See ya.